just watching the impact and seeing how lives are changing. Even the Montessori teachers, they tell you, you changed my life because you changed the way I treat my kids. I don't hit, I don't shout.
Yeah.
And it also impacts, the way I treat my husband and husband treats me.
Hello, and welcome again to What I Did Next from A&T Media. I'm Malak Fouad. Today's episode is a deep dive with our sponsor, EFG Holding. As a longtime sponsor of the show, EFG Holding have been with us from our single-digit episode count all the way through to 100. I'm really privileged to have them not just as a sponsor, but as a true partner. I'm joined on this episode by Hanaa Helmy, Chief Corporate Sustainability and Impact Officer at EFG Holding and CEO of the EFG Foundation. Hanaa has been with the company for 19 years and has been recognized by Forbes Middle East as one of the region's sustainability leaders in both 2024 and 2025. I'm always very impressed by something which has appeared nearly in every interview I've done with EFG executives, which is the length of time people have been with the bank. It's obviously a good place to work because everyone's always been there for years, and I've always found that very impressive.
It's a very dynamic place. I mean, every day is a different day. You don't get bored. The market is unbelievable. The geography, the regions, the diversity of the employees and the team members, it makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
And yes, it is a very nice place to work in.
Yeah. So you wear two hats at EFG. You founded, or you became involved with the EFG Foundation, which launched in 2006. And more recently, you became the group Chief Corporate Sustainability and Impact Officer, which you took on in 2022. I want to go through each of these roles and then get a sense of how you balance both and how they're different from each other. But let's begin with the EFG Foundation itself. Tell me about how that started and why it started. That's a long time ago, 2006, before even this was considered an important part of most corporations.
In 2006, the EFG Board of Directors, they had a mandate to start a foundation for social development. I received a call from one of the board members, and it wasn't about starting the EFG Foundation or talking about the EFG Foundation, but it was a call regarding another foundation that I founded, a foundation for children with cerebral palsy. And I think a calendar landed on his desk, an Ashoka Fellows calendar, and in one of the months, it was the Foundation for Cerebral Palsy, and he was interested in donating for this foundation. So I was called in, and we started talking about, the foundation itself and the children and so forth, and he made a donation. And then at the end of the meeting, he asked me if I am familiar with seed funding, foundations, microfinance. And I said, yes. And he said, because we have a mandate to start a foundation. And could you give us an idea about it? And I said, sure. And then I received another call and they said, so-and-so wants to meet you again regarding the foundation. And I walked in with, a vision and a mission and an idea about the foundation. And this is how, they, I don't know if they liked me or like my ideas, but this is when I started with EFG and, I articulated, the mission, the vision, the goals and so forth. And here we are.
And what was that original idea, Hanaa? What was it that you wanted to create and how did it match with their own ideas?
Foundations are different than businesses, as you know.
Yeah.
And you could, and the concept of a foundation is like charitable work. So whatever the media hype is, most of the foundations that join the media hype and they do the same thing. So you have like, a copy paste type of implementation. So this was, a way to do things. Just have a foundation like any other foundation, and you go with the flow, and everything is needed, by the way. Food, blankets, emergency funding. This is needed as well. Or you can establish a different foundation. You're going to be less popular because it takes time to show the impact, and it is founded on integrated sustainable development model in the poorest villages, which is like you you work on infrastructure, you work on economic empowerment, you work on human development. So these are the pillars that the integrated sustainable development model is built on.
And it's a behind the scenes approach. It's a low key approach without the media excitement. It's a long term vision.
Yes.
And what were your early areas that you focused on in terms of was it children? Was it food related? What were the early areas that you focused on?
They gave me a year to work on this model and present it at the end of the year so they can have a focus for the foundation. So during this year, I worked on, different pillars, different areas of development. So we can have like, water in one village, and you can have food in another village. You can have like medical convoys, health, education, water, sanitation, and so forth, which is okay. It's needed, but it doesn't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do the job of having an independent citizen that pays taxes at the end of the day.
So lifting the
model is needed.
lifting the individual up to become
The whole
self-sufficient.
community.
Yes.
Yes, the whole community. Yeah. And then you have, nowadays we talk about the sustainable development goals. And if you look at all 17 goals, to achieve the first one, you have to start from the last one. Zero hunger, no poverty. This cannot happen without the partnerships, the peace, all 17 of them. They just, end up with being able to alleviate poverty and reach zero hunger.
So, what has changed with regards to the foundation in terms of the evolution of the foundation? So, from 2006 until today, presumably the issues have changed, and now you're addressing other issues that you were not necessarily able to address in 2006, and vice versa. How have things evolved?
At the end of 2007, I presented this model. Okay. And it was approved by the board, and we started on this model in Beni Suef. By the time we were done with this community, it was 2010.
And what specifically did you do with that community? This was like the pilot program?
Yes. We did the infrastructure development, which is demolish and rebuild the houses. We did clean water, sanitation, the wastewater treatment station. We did economic empowerment. We had a community service center with a preschool and a KG school. We had a bakery, and we had a center for packaging vegetables.
So it's very much this pilot program looked at this entire village and upgraded the entire life of the village. You looked at
Yes.
every element of the life there.
Yes. Yeah, you had people that sold their TV to buy a computer. And then they worked on, having a service for an email service for anyone who wants to send an email or a complaint or stuff. And they used to send complaint about us.
That's so funny.
Which was great. I mean, when you walk into this community and you ask anybody, what do you guys need? They said health. They said we want our health. We want like to have our next meal. We need like a small bulb for electricity, and then 6 months later, you walk into this community and you say, "Hi, how are you?" And they say, "Oh, the faucet that you have in my house is not the same as the faucet that you have in my neighbor's house. So what happened here?"
Yeah.
And then you
That's
start,
interesting.
the arguments. I love
Yeah.
it. I mean, like, there is life.
There is life. Exactly. Exactly. And there's a desire for improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a guy, you ask a guy, "What do you need?" You hug, "What do you need?" And he said, "I'm waiting to die.
Wow.
I'm here and I'm waiting to die." And then 6 months later, after he has like two goats and so forth, he goes, "I'm waiting for the kids to come out of the
Yeah.
boat."
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is life.
So there's hope. There was a level of hope that developed from there. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yes.
give me an example, Hannah, of a program today. What would be a program that the foundation focuses on today? So you gave us an example of one, the pilot program, 2007, 2008. What is a program that you're interested in working on now?
Okay, I'll tell you the program that we are working on now. It started 8 years ago in Luxor. And again, with that same model of, the infrastructure and demolishing the homes and like connecting clean water and sanitation and so forth. And then you come to the economic empowerment part. In this village specifically, all the youth were, they had like college degrees, basically. So you cannot do economic empowerment like give them, a couple
A
of
goat.
goats, or,
Yeah.
or give them, a kiosk to sell Chipsy and Pepsi and so forth. This model cannot work with educated people. And then again, it's a waste of their time and the money that the
Of their
government.
education.
Exactly. So we started, by putting an ad for a Montessori training program, with the idea of building a community center and having a Montessori preschool for the kids, because the kids were running around us aimless. It wasn't, the hygiene was really bad, the time is wasted. And like, while these are very useful years, everything happened between the age of 0 to 3
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
brain. So
Absolutely.
why waste this?
Absolutely.
So we got like a 400 application. They wanted to join this program and get, trained in it. We started the training, which took 2 years. By the time this community center came out and came up, and we had the nurseries or the preschool ready, we had the teachers ready. And this school started in 2019, and so far it's going great. And we have a waiting list, and we train more teachers as backup. And whoever is not employed with us, they get employed in different nurseries and schools and so forth. So you started with the very young members of the community. And at that same time, you're working with women, and then you're working with other type of youth that wants to do a project or so forth. We support that. um, we have employee engagement, and our employees are, always engaged in our programs and so forth. um, this took years.
I'm sure. And to gain their trust as well over there, and to see the results, it takes a long time for something like that.
Exactly. You have
Yeah.
parents, walking to us and say, "My kid is coming home without a homework. So
Yes.
what are you doing with my kid?"
Yes.
And so forth. So building the trust is very important. Um, then the subject of climate change came up. And how can you address climate change to a community that is looking for their next meal? So you have to tie it to some what's in it for them.
Yeah, the priorities seem different, but they have to be put together. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you address the idea, or you present the idea of, how about if you guys start, with a small farm, or a community farm. no, we don't want to be, in this business. Or do you want me to be the competition for the lady that sells the tomatoes at the end of the street? No, I don't want to do this. So, okay, how about if you guys start to plant aloe vera? No. We have aloe vera in the cemeteries. This is not a good plant.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Do you guys know what aloe vera is? Yes, we do. When we have a scar, we use it on our skin or we use it as like, a cream for the hair. It's very good. So do you guys know how much is a kilo of aloe vera? And this is where, they
The
got
light
the
bulb
attention.
went off.
Yeah. So they said, oh, how much? And once we, tag this to a monetary value, okay,
Yeah,
you have the attention. And then you let them go.
of
And you
course.
say, okay, we can meet tomorrow. But tomorrow, when you come, bring your kids with you. So we have the community with their kids. And at the same time, we have the sustainable development goals on the wall. And we don't talk about it.
It's subliminal.
Yeah. We talk about the aloe vera and how do we extract the aloe vera. And, you can just give it a little water and sit next to it. And it will give you, 400-500 pounds a week or a month and so forth, depending on how many plants do you have.
Yeah.
Would you be interested to do this? And this can also reduce the carbon emission around you. And then you have the kids asking, so what is this? And what is this red thing? And by the end of the week, you have the kids all knowledgeable about the sustainable development goals, climate change, and you have the women engaged already and are waiting to get their plants as a gift from EFG Foundation. And we tell them we meet here in 3 months to extract the aloe vera, and then we can buy it from you and make a product, help you to make a product with it. And this product was distributed in Women International Day here in EFG. And it was a great product made by the women in Luxor and the aloe vera that was extracted by them.
Hearing this story, it makes me think that you must find so much satisfaction in your work. When you get results like this and you see a strategy that you put in place that on paper is on paper, I mean, it's a theory, and then you put it in practice and you really see how it actually becomes real. It must be very satisfying for you.
It's more than satisfying. I mean, just watching the impact and seeing how lives are changing. Even the Montessori teachers, they tell you, you changed my life because you changed the way I treat my kids. I don't hit,
Mm,
I don't shout.
yeah.
And it also impacts, the way I treat my husband and husband treats me. So the whole house,
The whole family dynamic. Yeah.
and this is by just having one child attending a Montessori school. Then you ask about the special needs. Are there any special needs kids around here in the community? And the answer is no, because they are ashamed
Of
or because
course.
they don't know.
Yeah.
And then once you have a program and they all join, and now we have a special section for the special needs, and they are integrated with the other kids, and the lives of these families are changed
Of
because
course.
they can communicate. You have children with special needs within a year or maybe two. They are
Mm,
mainstreamed with the other kids
yeah.
because they don't have this problem anymore.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about your other role, Group Chief Corporate Sustainability and Impact Officer. So this is obviously much more. It's under the umbrella of the corporation of the bank. Explain to me a little bit what that role entails.
2011, I mean, the foundation work was slowing down because of the Arab Springs, and we weren't able to really, the government is a main partners in this model.
Yes,
So at that time, this was not um
it had slowed down.
very. So, what are we going to do? I mean, like, we can join all other foundations by doing the same thing, or we can just put a hold on the foundation work and continue with the already committed financial budget for whatever tasks that we have to complete. and then look at what's going on in the world. And at this time, the United Nations Global Compact had started, and we joined the Global Compact in 2011. After the Global Compact, I started to look at the values of the holding company, the social purpose of the holding company, and it needed um, an update on just taking another
A
look.
refresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did a gap analysis, and we worked on disclosing the values and the social purpose, and we started reporting on sustainability in 2014. The first report is an easy one
Why? Why is the first report an easy one?
because
You
I
have no
mean, like, the
benchmark. You
company,
have nothing to compare it
no
to.
benchmark, and you're reporting on what you have.
Yes.
Okay, so how to go upwards from this is like you need commitments, you need a framework, you know, you needed an ESG policy. Starting to talk about ESG was very hard.
Can you explain what ESG is in case people don't know?
Environmental, social, and governance. Okay, so within the investment cycle. So to talk about ESG to business professionals, they think that it's going to uh, hold or hold them back from finishing a deal or establishing some new products and so forth. So the resistance was great.
And they considered that a luxury that wasn't necessary for them at the time to include in their conversations with clients. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, all along from 2011. I mean, this was done on voluntary basis, but
Mm-hmm.
it was coming. You
Yes.
know, the regulator is going to impose it on you, so you might as well start now.
Get on board early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was a very lonely journey.
And how did you, in the end, convince them? I mean, you're dealing with very intelligent executives who presumably understood that this was coming, as you said, and that they should be incorporating it into their dialogue with clients. And presumably as well, Hannah, the client would have wanted to include these measures as well.
That's what started it. Like the client was, they were asking about it. Okay, do you have an ESG policy, especially the foreign clients,
Yes.
or the regional clients?
Yes.
Um, but but when you take things, slowly but surely, and you put yourself in their shoes. I mean, if I am in your shoes, I would act the same way. Okay, so they had to be part of the process. So it's not like, I'm coming with a framework and I'm telling you this is the framework and you have to comply, and the audit department is going to check on you, and I'm going to report in my sustainability or annual report
Mm,
on
mm.
on your actions and so forth. No, you have to be part of this. So we basically tailored the frameworks with their consents. Like they were
Yes.
present in
Yes.
every meeting, you know. So they understood everything. They said, I cannot do this year. No, I cannot commit to this. So when can you commit? Like 2 years from now. That's fine. So slowly but surely, we came up with an ESG policy and we signed up. We were the first financial institution in Egypt to sign up to the UNPRI. Um, and then we started with the tools. Now we have a framework, and now you have your tools, and now you're ready. So, you are not behind. You are in the scene, and here we are today.
And how does this sort of thing evolve from the early years in 2014 to today? I'm assuming that these ESG policies are building blocks. You begin with the easy wins, the low hanging fruit that everyone can sign up to. And now I'm assuming that the layers and the things that are required to be compliant are much more sophisticated, correct, than what you began with.
Yes. Let's say, let's take a business line like private equity, for example. So you have a responsible investment policy, and that
Hmm.
responsible investment policy addresses the environment and the social and the governance. So,
Hmm.
and this is something that we didn't study in school.
No,
I mean, like way back
it
then, we
didn't
didn't study it,
exist.
and then
Yeah,
it didn't exist, and then no one
yeah,
wants an additional chore on his, daily to-do list.
yes,
So you had to, like, embed it within their manuals and procedures. So as you do, due diligence for this or that, you're going to do due diligence for the E and the S and the G, and this is how it's done. And these are the questions. These are the multipliers, for example. These are the factors that you have to be aware of.
yeah. It just became part of the overall work they had to do.
Yes.
Yes.
And then the colleagues and the business professional being there when this is developed, and having an opinion. Yes, no, we can't, we can, we do this already. So it
Mm-hmm.
made it easier.
I want to take a step back a little bit, and I want to talk about you, um, and your style of leadership. What is your approach to leadership, and how do you mentor junior people, whether it's in the foundation or whether it's in the department that you're in? How do you encourage people to develop their leadership skills? What are the key areas for you that you consider important?
I see the potential in every team member,
Hmm.
and I help them grow into the best version of themselves, um, with empathy and humor. Humor is an important part of this exercise. And I also, like, I set the why and I leave the how to the team. And then
Interesting.
we coach on the
Yeah.
outcome.
So you consider yourself a good delegator.
I'm hands off.
You're not a micromanager.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no, no.
And who were your mentors when you were growing up? Who would you have considered your mentors to be?
My family.
You had mentioned to me a professor as well at one point.
Yeah. There was a professor I went to School of Agricultural Sciences, and there was a professor who was a friend of my father, and I was introduced to him, and he said, I need you guys in the Rotaract Club." So I joined the Rotaract at my junior year of college, and I started, this kind of work way back
Hmm.
then.
Yeah.
And he was a mentor, and he was a great guy, and he was very funny as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think when we're taught the importance of giving back at an early age, it becomes embedded in you, right? And you made it your actual career, which at the time I don't think you had planned on. You had told me you wanted to open a florist. This is a very far away from being a florist. But it's interesting how these things embed from a young age.
yes, and then you see it also within the family. I mean, I heard about my grandfather, and he was a medical doctor, and he had a clinic for free in one of the villages, aside of his regular clinic.
Yes,
And then I
yes,
heard that he used to sit, with at the ahwa at that time. And he used to, like, people would come to him, and he used to give them, the medication, and tell them,
yeah.
what
And
to
of
do,
course,
and
it
so
was for
forth.
free. He did it for free. Yeah, yeah.
It was all for free. He didn't
Yes,
leave
yes.
anything for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Nothing.
yeah. But he left a legacy of giving back, and but that's important.
I tell you, I tell you the stories I heard. I mean, he used to come back home with a duck in a basket,
People would give him
as
things
you
in
know.
kind, right? They would give him
Yeah,
presents. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Amazing,
yeah.
amazing. When you look back at the last 2 to 3 years, what do you consider to be or maybe further actually, what do you consider to be your biggest achievement?
All projects, they stand out. I mean, the beneficiaries of every project was I don't know how to say it, but I can see the face and see the life changes. But like the one achievement that I'm really proud of is building a team that puts a smile on my face on daily basis.
That's really nice. To be able to come to work with so much joy is a blessing. It's not everyone who can say that. Yeah.
Well, you smile from the garage all the way up. And then you stop at the desks, and there is like a story or a joke or like a
Yeah,
mishap
yeah,
or a problem. So by the time I get into my office, I mean, like, we solved the
yeah,
problem, we left about something,
yeah,
and
yeah. But I think that you're generally an optimistic person as well. I think you have a good outlook on life because you're working in an environment that I think you have to be an optimist to be working in sustainability and giving back in the way you're working. I think you can't be a pessimist doing your work. I think if you're a pessimist doing your work, you'll have a very difficult time.
I hate drama.
Okay. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, you're a practical person, obviously, as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what's the issue here? Why are
And
we
how can we
sad?
fix it? Yeah, if you were to consider another profession, what would it be?
A comedian?
The comedian. Will your colleagues agree with that?
I think my team will.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cute. I like that. I like that. That's very cute.
or
And
or a
tell me,
cartoonist.
oh, you draw well.
No, but I have ideas. I mean, like, as we're speaking or anything, if I am in a situation, I mean, like, I hope no one can read my mind because the cartoon is happening here now. You
Oh,
know,
you're thinking of the dialogue. The dialogue is happening.
yeah,
The
and then the
dialogue, yeah.
pictures and yeah, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's
it's
funny. That's
distracting.
funny. Yeah. Give me a sense of what is a typical day for you.
I'm an early riser. I wake up very early. I stretch for 10 minutes, no more. Coffee, um, WhatsApp, my family, my daughters, um, emails, and I get ready to just come to work. I'm working. My commute is over an hour, so I'm working during this hour.
And then you're there. Most of your meetings are in person or you're in the office. Do you have meetings outside of the office?
Meetings outside. We travel to the project sites all the time, so we're on the road. So it's like a combination or a hybrid.
Yeah. Tayyip, I want to end with a very quick lightning round. What's your favorite activity?
Mm,
Making jokes.
my favorite activity is to just simplify things, simplify issues to be able to accomplish stuff.
Okay.
Coffee is another one.
I like that coffee is now an activity.
Having just having coffee and like this is just a conversation like topics they come up around coffee.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
coffee is a good activity.
By that, I think you mean being with friends, being with people, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Okay, okay. What's your least favorite activity?
Reply to long emails.
Yes, I agree.
It's like, yeah, I
It's
mean, like,
hard.
noted.
Yeah.
Noted.
You want to just reply with one word, right?
Noted, خلاص.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going to read two sentences and you have to end each sentence, okay? I have a hard time.
Dealing with bureaucracy, corruption, and people that are not, uh, honest.
Very nice answer. Last one. I get joy from.
Seeing the impact, empowering people, changing lives, and I love it when a plan comes together.
That's the meaning of your work, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great. That's it, Hanaa. Thank you.
I would like to congratulate you on the 100th episode. What a milestone.
Thank you. Thank you
And
very
I'm honored
much.
to be part of this one. Thank you for having me.